Just yep, and just be a keyboard warrior.
And Amos is wrong. He instantly kicks him out.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, that's all I want to say.
I'm just so disappointed that first of all he keeps talking about Jews like everyone wants to belong to Israel, which is absolutely false, and we know that for facts. And he talks about democracy when he doesn't allow people to discuss anything with him at any time.
The MG anymore.
And Norm, I saw how you tried to cover up for Ariel when he lied and said he caught a flight to Tel Aviv when the airport is closed. I was born at night, but not last night.
They said they won't be able to have airport. Yeah, they won't be able to have their airport running for a couple of weeks.
So they hit the airport then.
Apparently, but they don't want to say it. Yeah, because they don't want people.
And they wouldn't have video of that because who's actually, they closed the airport down, I'm sure, first thing they did, so there was nobody there. And it's not like people live, if you live close to the airport, it's still probably a couple of kilometers space between the airport and residential areas. So you wouldn't have people with cell phone cameras like you would in Tel Aviv and northern Israel and all of these other places that were hit. Because there's tons of videos out now.
Where are you seeing this video?
Mahmoud Aouda, he's a 48 Palestinian. I don't know if he still lives there or not. He's I think his live stream is still going on. He's been doing like 6-hour live streams since yesterday, and showing everything. As things are landed, he gets the videos. He shows the videos, both in Israel and in Iran. So that's how. And so he gets them from X, probably. So. They're out there. There's a ton of videos out there. There's even videos of the same of an Iranian missile from different cell phones, so different angles.
That guy was like when Wafer asked him what happens after the Iranian regime falls. He was like, "Oh, we're gonna have our own elections. We're gonna have this. We're gonna have that." And I'm thinking to myself, this guy. He is delusional.
Did you notice
United States of America?
Those two people came in after Yael. So she pinged them in after she left. Because they were spouting the same garbage as she spouts.
Probably.
If anybody else want to chime in, Roya, if you want to come on up, you're welcome to come on up as well. We'll give you the mic, don't worry. Nobody's going to steal the mic. Fahran, is it Fahran? Do you want to speak?
One last question before you go. Do you think Palestine get a break on all of this? Like, do you think this campaign?
So the West Bank is under lockdown for 2 days now. Nobody comes in, nobody can even move. Gaza.
We don't know what's happening in Gaza right now.
They killed over 20 people in Gaza. This was the recent news. Same thing at the aid place where they're getting the aid, and nobody can leave the aid place. This was reported in Al Jazeera. This was the recent news.
I heard the aid's going to resume tomorrow.
They killed people where they were getting flowers today, and apparently the only way to help them is to buy eSIM cards. So, yeah.
Good. So that's where we're at right now. Fahra, do you want to speak? Hello, I do. You want to speak?
No, I don't do that.
Okay. Do you support Israel or Palestine? Or Iran? Who do you support? What did you say? I can barely hear you. Close your mic. What did you say? I can barely hear you, man.
Okay, is it audible now? Am I audible now?
Yes. I don't give Roya. Sometimes it happens, and then I moved him down a couple of times. The guy that insulted his son.
I'm on private right now, so maybe that's the.
Okay, but after you have witnessed and learned about this conflict in Palestine, Israel, Iran, what side are you coming from? Do you support the Palestinians?
Well, I still have ambiguity on this, but yeah, like I lean towards Palestine on this issue.
Where do you have a problem with the Palestinian man?
Sorry, I didn't got you what?
Where do you have a problem with, like, which the Palestinian narrative? Like, where do you have a problem?
No, I don't have a problem with Palestinians. I have a problem with Israelis. So yeah.
But you said you had ambiguity, so
Yeah, so I said I lean towards Palestine. Maybe it is because of the, my religious.
You will lean religious? Are you Muslim?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I mean, if you have questions and understand, we have a Palestinian here. We got through with that. You were talking about Palestine.
Hey, Palestine, I didn't know he was in the room. Hey, Palestine.
Assalamu alaikum. Sorry, I didn't speak at all. Hi, everyone. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. How are you today? How's life over there? Is it under siege? How are the Israelis treating people?
They actually came into my village earlier today.
They did?
Yeah, that was mad.
Isn't it strange that you have a very quiet village?
Yeah, this is a very quiet village, but they keep on coming, like, on occasions to scare us. That's a scare tactic, basically.
That's what they do in Colombia, where I'm from. But they do it all the time. Like my cousins.
Oh yeah, in Colombia all the time. Yeah.
Two of my cousins, they're in their 40s. Their sons are in Israeli detention for, I don't know, over a year now. And up to a few months ago, they were coming into both their father's houses. So their fathers are my cousins, so I guess their sons would be my second cousins. Is that how it works? Yeah. So they were going into their house, two houses. They were trashing their houses every 5 to 15 days, so you don't know when they're coming, and beating the shit out of my cousins. Every 1 to 2 weeks, 3 weeks at the most. But it was a routine thing for, I don't know, like 8-10 months. They were doing it, and I was trying to get them out.
I could imagine what they do to the women. They probably rape them.
Well, not in front of. Well, it's not the women. Well, women in prison, in detention. Yeah, but it's the, and this has only come out recently, and this is something the Palestinians have not talked about because of our society. But the girls that and now there's vans that pick up children to go to school, for the most part, right? Palestine.
I can imagine. They're a disgusting society.
Well, before the vans, up until the late 2000s, kids walk to school, and little girls, 8, 9, 10 years old, were routinely sexually harassed by the soldiers.
Yeah.
And worse. I mean, this is something that wasn't talked about at all until the last year or so. So I'm glad Palestinians are more comfortable now to speak about that. That's been happening for generations. So if you can imagine, school girls that went to school and were harassed or worse by Israeli soldiers, grew up, got married, had children, had daughters, and then those daughters, same thing happened to them. There's no words to.
My cousin himself is a detainee. He's a prisoner. He's been a prisoner for now it's almost 2 years.
It's like
society. I don't care what anybody says.
And they say, we only have 200 detainees, 146 detainees. That's all we have. How is it that every Palestinian I come across in my family, there's multiple detainees? Palestine here has a cousin that's detained. what are the chances of, if there were 146 out of 5.5 million people, what are the chances of the two of them being right here in this room, in Amir's room right now? That have family that are detained.
That's the case. We are so goddamn unique. If that's
Yeah, exactly. We are so lucky, or Amir is so lucky, which I don't think he is, because Amos is more handsome than he is. But either that, or maybe it's not true. Maybe there are tens of thousands of people that are being held in detention for months to years, and maybe that's the truth.
Yeah, including children.
Yeah, 12, 13 years old. Yeah, I'll tell you, this is how they Palestine. Who was that girl with the blonde hair and blue eyes? When she was a teenager, she came from a family of activists, and she was a teenager. She's famous for being an activist. I think she went up against a tank when she was a little girl or something.
Yes, that's true. And she got arrested.
I don't know if it's. Does she have blonde hair?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, okay. Yeah. They wouldn't arrest her for the longest time. Why? Because she had blonde hair and blue eyes. That's what they said. In the early 2020s, that's what they were saying, that they weren't arrest her because she has blonde hair and blue eyes. And then they finally arrested her, I think, after October 7th.
Was it her name Tamimi?